Good morning, Mr. Tonge.
Good morning.
And for viewers, we are blessed with Mr. Robert Tonge, who is the coordinator of our digital economy. And we are happy to have him here to give us a brief as to what are the goals and the aims of that department of the Ministry of Public Works and Digital Economy.
Okay, so good morning, good day, good night, depending on when you look at this program. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Robert Tonge. I'm the coordinator for the digital economy in Dominica. And the government in after Hurricane Maria, realized that we are very vulnerable, right? And we were vulnerable from the standpoint of infrastructure. And as you know, we've done a lot of building, changing the building codes, building back better, building back stronger, to ensure that our properties are not as destroyed, building back other home shelters and stuff like that, so that persons are not displaced for a long period of time.
Right.
But at the same time, when you have the disasters, you also have the whole issue of financial disadvantages. So again, you want to ensure that our people are not only resilient from the standpoint of their infrastructure, but also their income. And the world has changed dramatically. It was changing slowly, but again, not only Maria, but more importantly, COVID-19 forced us to change considerably in the way that we did business. So you remember when we had the restrictions, persons would have to go into the supermarket 4 at a time, the lines were extremely long, and that was totally inconvenient.
Yes, and more importantly, all of a sudden we review work. Like previously we thought of work as, leaving home, going to the farm, going to the office. And now we have to figure, we can work from home.
Correct.
Be online and students as well for education.
So exactly, my children are at home today on Friday because there's no in class classes. It's an online version, and obviously that's going to change. Where certain times you would have the blended approach. So, for example, if your child is sick and they can't go into school on a particular day, there's no reason why they should. If they're not extremely sick, there's no reason why they should miss on the class. So you can have a continued form of education. So we've seen things change. Even the way we purchase items, now there are companies in Dominica that provide online services, including delivery services, so you don't have to even leave your home if you have a debit card or credit card or PayPal or M-Ledger or Mo Banking. You wouldn't have to leave your home. You can actually purchase those items and it can be delivered to your doorstep.
That is fantastic. So it's a means of making life more convenient for everybody. And we are already aware of the aims of the government to make everything digital, from having paper records, as we're familiar with, at the registry, to put it on the computer system. And I think it's very exciting because when it transitioned to, as you explained earlier, to digitize the systems.
Digitalize.
Oh, digitalize.
So let us explain to the clients. Digitize is to take your piece of paper and make it an electronic page, which you can store on your phone and that kind of stuff. That is one step, but we have to take it a step further. Yes. We have to be able to use that data to help us to make the best decisions and to be able to process things a lot faster.
Yes. And I think that opens the doorway for many other changes.
Definitely.
Yeah, like for example, maybe I want to access my records, like my certificate of title, perhaps. And perhaps I don't want to physically go down to the titles department. So perhaps eventually in time, we'll be able to, perhaps enter a code or some identification online and access your own records. Would that be possible?
Think of the possibilities are endless, right? What I say to a lot of people, and that's part of our role. Part of our role is to educate the people, to make them aware as to what is going on, and to also train them. So, like what we're doing now is that we're explaining to people so they are aware. Over the last 8 weeks, we had a virtual digital transformation show. We had 3 to 4 companies every Wednesday explaining all of the services that they have, how to use the service, how to go to their website, how to navigate their website, how to navigate their app, so you can know exactly what to do. So a lot of people are not aware, but again, what we're trying to do is to make sure that we're sure. Once we put the structures and things in place, we're also educating the public in terms of how they're moving forward. One of the other things that we're going to be doing, we're going to have the creation of what they call innovation hubs. Not everybody has a device, right? So everybody still needs to learn. So we're going to be outfitting 15 community centers across Dominica with computers so that persons who don't have devices can go to that particular area and learn. Or if you have a device, you can actually follow those classes online, because we don't want any of our people, that's what the Prime Minister said, he doesn't want any of his people to be left behind. So we want to do our best to try to educate and to continuously educate. And like you know, even with social media, a person may watch a video once, a person may see it, they may not see it, so that's important. So those of you watching, please like and subscribe, but most importantly, share. If you don't share, you don't care, right?
Right.
If I like this video, it only stays with me. If I share it to someone else, I impact knowledge on someone else. So very importantly, not only like but share this channel.
And the point you just made about making community centers information hubs, do you think that can also tie into making Wi-Fi a public good in certain areas?
I think in time that will happen, because that's the way forward. But like I was saying, what the government has done, well, the first thing the government did was to ensure after Hurricane Maria was to ensure that our backbone, our infrastructure was the best as it could be. So we have 2 fiber networks, Flow and Digital around Dominica with redundancies. All government institutions are properly hardwired. Some of the critical ones have satellite connectivity in case the lines get broken or whatever, to ensure there's proper redundancy. So hospitals have internet, schools have internet, and in those areas, all government employees are getting free. But there has to be some kind of balance, because if you give it free to everyone, the telecommunications companies are going to find some way to hit you and charge you accordingly. So there has to be some kind of
so these
balance.
Areas.
I'm not sure, but there has to be some form of balance, or it means government is the one who's going to have to pay for all of this.
Okay, so I guess that is something that we explored in time.
Yeah.
Now, I think the rest of the general public will be very eager to see how it progresses, because we are anxious for the days when we'll think, it will be past tense when we know we have to follow long lines, we have long processing to do, and everything will be way more easy and accessible. And I presume, well, I guess naturally, we're gonna set up information like data networks and
Well, okay, so in terms of data, like what they're saying is that governments and companies have a lot of data. Even companies, so a lot of times we like to put pressure on government, but even companies, we have a lot of data, but we don't use the data. We don't analyze the data to see who are our customers, who are our best customers, who are the customers who left us, and how do we try to get back their business. So there's a lot of data, and that's why it's not just taking the data from paper to a digitized version, but to be able to use that data to make the best decisions and choices going forward. So the government has already started. Like I said, the infrastructure is there. You can use your Wi-Fi. You can use your internet through the various companies, and you can do Zoom. You can work online. You can do all that stuff, right? Except for maybe 1 or 2 selected areas. So the infrastructure is in place. And one of the first things we must do to have a proper digital economy is the infrastructure, the internet.
Yes.
The next piece is that we have to make sure that government systems are in place, and these are some of the things that we do. So take, for example, to make sure all of the laws, the applicable laws have to be changed in order to use that. So we have a legal team that will be here from next week, again, to speak with all of the private sector organizations, speak with all the government organizations, to know what laws have to be amended so they can make those amendments. Traditionally, you would have gotten a company to do that, and then you pass it on to the government system. But again, we interact with the government system, and they said to us, something, we always have a lot of work to do. So we need that organization to actually do the drafting, so that way they can hand it to them after and say, hey, all you need to do is take that document, bring it to Parliament, and pass it if that is required. So that is in terms of the law. That's a critical section, because if people want to know that the information is secure, it's private, and if somebody messes around with it, there's going to be strict penalties and stuff like that.
Ooh, it's very interesting, especially as you mentioned security. That is a concern many of us have, especially, in recent times with identity theft. A hacker, taps in every 40 seconds or something like that. So I guess that could, we could segue into the whole issue of the blockchain system.
Well, before you go to blockchain, so that's why people, when you hear of the different training that's going on, you have to be part and parcel of it, because you need to know how to protect your phone. You need to know how to protect your children's phone. You need to know how to protect your laptop. So education is going to be key. You have to be educated. If you're not educated in terms of passwords, I bet if I ask the average person how many online accounts that they have, the average person has more than 25 online accounts.
Wow.
Think about it. All the social media, all the different email accounts that you have, it's quite a bit. But how many passwords are you using? Most of us are using one password. So if I get your one password, I have access to everything. True or false?
That is correct.
Right. So we have to learn how to protect ourselves. So education is key. Also, part of that program, the current digital transformation program, not only the issue of the laws, but even what we call cybersecurity. We're actually going to be having what we call emergency response unit that will be formed so that when people are trying to hack into computers and stuff like that, we can see, they'll be able to monitor and see certain trends and actually help individuals, but more as companies. Most times people already go after companies.
Yes.
So you'll hear about ransomware and hijacking and stuff like that, whereby they will hack into your system, they will take all your information, and then eventually they will tell you, hey, if you don't pay us $50,000, some of them will tell you, if you don't pay us 2 Bitcoin, we will erase all of your information. So we have to make sure. So there'll be a team to help with that. But more importantly, persons have to make sure that they are trained and their staff are trained so that we can protect ourselves.
Yes, that is an excellent thing to address, because I guess the average person, we don't really think about those things. We don't understand ransomware and that type of stuff. I mean, it could be, most we know is, we have 1 or 2 celebrities having their, nude photos being hacked and leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that is very interesting, very exciting. It's a step in the right direction. It's a thing that we have to do.
Definitely.
And everybody else listening, and viewing, like it or not, we have to participate. It's a reality. Our children coming up in school,
Mm-hmm.
we are online learning now, so it's something
most of our children know a lot more than the average adults.
Yes.
So the adults have to ensure that they are aware as to what's going on.
Yes. Okay. So my final question is, and it's kind of general, but something I'm interested in, curious about, because I had mentioned Hurricane Maria, and all of us can recall the housing situation, and we had the housing recovery program, and that it was a nice opportunity. Well, it still is. It's still happening. To really, as you say, and we have consensus happening now, to gauge households, who owns what, and maybe another chance to see, address the issue of property ownership, because we allow people that don't have official title to their lives. So I guess with the digital economy and digitizing everything, perhaps in time we could form a cadastral system. So we kind of like geomap the island of Dominica, so you know exactly where everything is and who has what, and then we can assess land use and so on.
Again, that's the challenge. Information is always being produced.
Yes.
Right? And even for me, just listening to the radio in the morning, I didn't really do it. Guess what I do? I say, hey Alexa, do a recurring playlist. And every morning at 6 o'clock, turn on yourself, right? At 6 o'clock, I want to know what's the weather, I want to know what's happening, and then turn on DBS radio, right? And then I tell it at 10 to 8, turn off automatically, right? So at 6 o'clock, it comes on and I listen to the news. You'll be surprised the amount of information that is out there that we have to be aware of. If you don't listen, you're not going to hear. So that's a very important piece that people need to be aware of. You have to listen. Either you listen to the radio or you listen to stuff. If you just listen to pure social media, you're basically going to get the kind of stuff that you're interested in, and the social media is going to push that kind of content to you. So you have to kind of break that chain. Otherwise, you're only going to see the same friends, the same kind of people, especially if you're on Facebook. TikTok is kind of different. It gives you what you like to see. All right. In terms of geomapping, Ministry of Lands, Planning Department, they've been using GIS. I can't remember the exact. It's some geo something information system. So they have been using maps for the longest while, and they can potentially exactly where the different places are, the flooded areas, and some of it also includes the lands that are on the title. So all of that is possible with the whole issue of blockchain and what we call you hear about NFTs?
Yes.
Non-fungible tokens. So non-fungible tokens is basically you own a piece of paper or artwork, a land title is no different than a piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree? It's a piece of paper that says that you own this piece.
Yes.
And nobody else can copy it.
Right.
Right? So if you can make a land title an NFT, it means nobody else owns it. It means you can always show it to someone and they will know for a fact that you own it. So if you have an NFT for your piece of land and I know nobody else owns it, it means I can do a transaction with you without even having to go to the registry.
Okay.
Right? And imagine how much faster that would be if I had to do that. Right? And then you can verify, same thing you're talking about, because it's an NFT, I can verify it is yours. You can show it to me, so I know you don't have to go to Treasury, to the registry and look for that document because you have a copy of that document.
Right, so you have access to the information and it's also secure as well.
And secure.
Okay, so as Mr. Tonge advised, listen, to follow information, be a seeker of truth. You can also rely on us here at NEWSI to assist you in the process. And once again, I say it is, pretty good work, a step in the right direction. And we're going to change the way we live, the way we work.
Sure. My parting comments would be educate yourself.
Yes.
When there's education opportunities, join on. Listen to more than one. There are lots of gurus. Listen to more than one guru online. There are lots of celebrities pushing stuff. Celebrities get paid to push stuff, so they don't necessarily have an intrinsic interest in some of these things. They're being paid. In terms of cryptocurrency, crypto technology, Bitcoin, there's a lot of that going around. A lot of people selling you all sorts of stuff. If it's too good to be true, it is not true. Right? Very, very important, right? And if you're going into Bitcoin and trading, my advice to you, trade for the long term. If you try and trade on the curves, you're going to lose all your money eventually.
Well, hey, let's get the discussion popping, as one will say. And if you have any queries, any concerns, you can feel free to contact this department of the ministry. Sure.
On Facebook, we're the Caribbean Digital Transformation Unit. On the World Wide Web, we're the Caribbean Digital Transformation Unit. So please like and subscribe.
Well, thank you, everyone.
And share, don't forget.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Yeah, because all of the virtual series are there. We're supposed to start town hall meetings in the various communities.
Okay.
Again, we're asking persons to come on board. Why? Because there's going to be great opportunities. Even in the main innovation hub that we're going to be doing, it'll have training facilities for people so that when we have companies, we can say, hey, bring your entire staff and come and train them in cybersecurity, all the basics.
Okay.
So basics, intermediate, and we also realize that we have to train people on the basic.
Yes.
A lot of people have this, they only make a call or they only use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The person had to download it for them or someone else. So we need to train our people, right?
Yes.
Recently we had some cruise lines here doing applications. One of the things that they did to speed the process was that they gave you a tablet to enter your information. Not everybody knew how to use a tablet. So we're going to start training people from the basic, all the way to advanced. So opportunity will be there, but you have to sign up. If you don't sign up, it's going to pass you by.
And you'll be left behind, and we don't want that, right?
From the training also, there'll be the opportunities for internships.
Yes.
So after you're trained, companies may want someone to do a website for them. Someone may want someone to do accounting for them online. Again, some of these things you don't have to be in a location. Like you're saying, you can work from home.
So you're creating opportunities.
Right.
In the digital economy.
Right. And then there will also be some opportunities for grants for persons who want to start a new business and technologically based. They can get some funding for once they go through the training program and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunities, but you have to listen.
Okay, awesome. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna play our part and we're gonna, follow the progress through the ministry as it goes on. It's time to participate in your own development. And as Mr. Tonge stated, feel free to reach out to the ministry, any questions, concerns, or suggestions. And we will keep in touch. We will follow it as we go along, and everybody get on board.
Sure. So I'll make sure to like the page too and subscribe and also share. Because as I said, sharing is the most important thing because obviously you're giving out a lot of information, and if you just keep that information for yourself, it doesn't help someone.
Well, that's what it's all about, that interconnectedness online. So Mr. Tonge, thank you so much, and until next time.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for watching.